Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Today's the 4th of July, my gig was canceled today, so we started working on the cabinet for our Radio Craftsmen RC8. I decided I'm going to do the building of the cabinet in very short little segments, maybe 5 minutes or so. Only because it's still a fairly fluid situation for me. I know what I'm building, I know what I want it to look like, but I want to make sure I plan each step, and I want to make sure I give you guys updates. So what you're going to see now is installment 1. I'll probably be working on another segment tomorrow, and we'll post that as soon as it's ready. But I want you to see where we're going with it. Alright? Everybody stay safe and enjoy. Take care. Hey everybody. We're going to start the construction of our cabinet for our Radio Craftsmen RC8. And you'll see here that I've chosen the lumber that I'm going to use. And right here, we have a piece of treated pine. And you'll see that it's a pretty nice piece of wood here. It's got a rounded edge here, so I don't have to route it. That helps me. And you'll see it's going to have some really nice detail in it when I stain it. And this board itself is 1 inch thick, 11.5 this way, and it's 48 inches long. So here's what we need. So I did some measurements. So our radio chassis is 15.5 inches that way. Our speakers are 3 inches on either end. So I'm going to leave a 3.5 inch gap between the chassis and the speakers. That'll give me enough room to put in a baffle, like I said I was going to do, which means I'm going to make the length of my board 28 inches. The bottom one is going to be a full 28 inches. The top one, I'm going to cut the 28 inches, but I'm going to end up cutting it into 2 slices, right here and right here, because we're going to have a hinge. Okay? Now as far as the depth goes, I'm probably going to make it about 9 inches this way. I have to do some measurements on that, but it's probably going to be about 9 inches. So because we have 11.5 this way, we're probably going to cut off about 4.5 inches. So let's assume that our dimensions are going to be 28 this way and 9 this way. That'll give me a chance to put the controls at the front. Let's get that set up. Okay, the top of our unit is all cut. I actually went 28.5 inches because I am going to leave a little bit of an overhang here on the sides and on the front and the back. Very slight, but that's what mid-century modern kind of looks like. And then I have the cuts here for the flip top. There's going to be hinges. I have the hinges, and there's going to be a piece of beveled glass in here that's 6 by 9. So we're going to put that on the router table when the time comes and embed that glass in there, make it look really good. And then when that blue light comes up, we're good. So all that's left to do now is create the bottom. I chose this piece for the top because of the nice grain that it has. So now we're going to use the bottom, which is a less remarkable piece of wood. So let me cut the bottom, and then we're going to be ready to start building. Okay, and just like that, our bottom is cut, and our top is cut. So now we've got the foundation. So the next thing we're going to do, before we start building the sides, and here's why. When I build the sides up, I have to put a hole for the speaker, because the speaker's going to be pointing out that way. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. On the front, I'm going to have an opening for the dial, so we're going to have to do that a little bit special. The back is going to be a partially opened back, and I'll show you that when we get to it. So what I'm going to build now is on the bottom, this is the bottom piece. I'm going to build a box underneath that with the Class D amplifier is going to go inside. So it's actually going to sit underneath. It's going to come from about here to the back. It'll be largely invisible from the front when you look at it. But that's where we're going to hide that amplifier. I've also ordered 28-inch hairpin legs, which will go on this thing. And that's why I'm using a thicker stock here, because it's a pretty wide span. The chassis is a little bit heavy, so I want to make sure I've got enough thickness here, so that's why this is 1 inch. And I've also ordered a really cool vintage grill cloth. I think you're going to like it. I'll show you that when it gets here. So next step is I'm going to start building that bottom shelf, and we'll get that going. So I'll show you what that looks like. We'll be back.